ProSci is my favorite change management certificate entity. And Tim, who leads their research, emailed me the other day and said, Roland, can you share with me the evidence of your research, of your statement that more change will happen the rest of our lives since the beginning of civilization 4,500 years ago? Well, see, that's been published many places. And so he's now challenging me. Well, I don't have any direct, hard scientific research, but I have a story to tell. You know, when you get to be my age, my wife said, who is getting her PhD in social psychology, says that people my age like to tell stories. And I'd love to tell you this story. So once upon a time, I was at Loyola University, and they created the first organization development change master's program from a Catholic university in the world for me, with Dr. Jerry Egan coming out of National Training Labs. Well, I had experienced for about 6 years transformation experiences in T groups, starting with Charlie Seashore from NTL. And I use this this quote that I picked up from Warren Bennis to sell my work as a consultant, because that's all I've ever done. So in that book that Dr. Egan gave to me, titled Organization Development, the first of 3 books in the Addison Wesley series with Shine, Beckert, and Bennis, it said, we are about to enter an epoch of a dizzying rate of change. Whoa! And because I had been experiencing it personally in the T groups, I started to say this is important. And so I started to share that, as I said, to sell. Then I read Future Shock. Whoa! Toffler. And I met him. And I asked him, I said, is this a valid quote that I say? And he says, absolutely. And recently, you know, you probably don't know, Frey, who is an expert on Toffler, said this: we are moving into exponential change. And he said it took radio 38 years for the technology to meet 5 million people. TV took 13 years. The internet took 4 years. Twitter took 9 months. And Angry Birds game, which I don't even know about, I don't have time to deal with silly stuff like that, it took 5 weeks. And now, he said, a new startup business can reach 50 million users in less than a week. That is a dizzying rate of change. Now, here's some other evidence I have. So then I met John Nesbitt at a conference after I had read Megatrends. Asked him the same thing. And he said, without doubt. And he's still talking about change around the world. He's living in China with his wife. And recently, Tim, when I was talking with David Huell, see his website, he's the futurist that I listen to, about writing on the online version in my Practicing Organization Development, where you are, Tim, I asked him, and he also confirmed that what I said is absolutely true. And he says, we are entering now the decade of transformation. That means a shift. That means a paradigm movement. The caterpillar becomes the butterfly. So 4 trends I've been talking about and been researching. I think I got them first from the IBM CEO research about 4 years ago. I've added one. The first one is globalization, obvious, right? But here's the unique thing. 90% of the world's population is under 17 and emerging countries. And their discretionary income is slowly rising. It's going to have a huge impact. And I also just read something yesterday on the internet where one of my colleagues says poverty is going to go away in a blink of an eye. And when I was with a linkage with the top OD HR executive at IBM. IBM has probably gone through the greatest transformation of any organization in our current times. And Noel Teachy was their consultant, my friend, from the University of Michigan, where I did my PhD work. And he said there's going to be a big conflict coming. It's going to be between the top people making all the money and the rest of society. So we know 100 people have more money collectively the entire civilization of the earth. That is not going to stand up because the internet, the technology is going to go after that, and society is going to break that down. And also I just heard, because I'm studying corruption, I'm helping somebody become a president of a country in Africa, and I know about the corruption in the Philippines. They would be Singapore if they didn't have corruption. We are going to knock out corruption. And when that knocked out, the poverty is going to go away. And then I'm working these days in Saudi Arabia. My God! They have, don't quote me on this, I couldn't find the statistics this morning when I went to look after it, but I just read this. They have something like $300 billion in reserve. And they're spending that because of the oil crash just to subsidize their people. I mean, my God, they're the driest place on earth, and all their people's water is subsidized. And this is all have to change. They could be the fastest crashing economy in the world. I don't think they will, because I think they're going to change, and I think they're going to innovate, like Dubai has. So, the first big shift is globalization. The second and third are technology and health. Technology. I just heard we now have the technology to make our internet 100 times faster. And Google and 3 other companies are putting up and working right now so that Wi-Fi will be free in the world by the year 2020. Oh my God, do you know what that is going to do to the educational rise of the poor? My God. And the smartphone. It has advanced tremendously in the last 5 years. Well, in the next 5 years, it's going to advance 3 times more than it did in the last 5 years. Technology is going to create some online retail stuff. The CEO of Starbucks says we are ready to have tremendous change in the retail world. And then there's going to be artificial intelligence that's just going to absolutely blow our mind. Then the one that is happening because of globalization and technology is health. NASA has researched. This is how they healed, why astronauts never got sick. And this is just going to come out to the public, and it's being developed. Your computer can wire you and send into the cloud your data, and they will shoot back to you vibrations or something that will instantly heal you. Oh my God. Just right from your iPhone. And then we have David Wolf. I just saw this yesterday, one of my clients, WOLF, okay? He's found this new gadget that you can take to the store or to your restaurant, and it will test your food before you buy it or eat it, the nutrition value, the match to your body, the freshness, the quality, everything. Oh my God, that'll put McDonald's out of business really fast. I heard that's going to happen too. Then, this is the more exciting one, longevity. David Wolf has been talking about this for 10 years. Okay, he takes probably $5,000 worth of supplements in one time or way or another every month to increase his longevity. He says he feels like he's 18 years old and he's 40. But here's what I've discovered. My 5 favorite organization change, Research University, USC, Stanford, Columbia, University of Michigan, Johns Hopkins, and the Mayo Clinic where I was born, all in 2 years say that they're working on, and what's coming is something that's going through the FDA right now that's going to reverse our aging. They figured out how to do it. So for $40,000, you can zip back your life 5-10 years. You can do that every year. My God, that is huge in terms of ramifications, in terms of change for the earth. And there's health tourism. I mean, one of my clients, a hospital in Bangkok, they have the most advanced technology in the health in a hospital in the world, not the Mayo Clinic. So health and technology are two of those things that's creating this more change. Well, so the last one is earth changes or the environment. And my only living guru, Dr. Cooper Ryder, is doing probably the leading work in this area. And what I hear from them is big stuff is about to happen. I mean, just what happened in the world meeting in terms of the new policies that were signed is going to have a huge impact. And the other thing that I picked up, I've been traveling 9 months around the world, and boy, the United States is not a favorable country, let me tell you. We are being ignored and alienated. But when I got back here, it was wonderful to really experience competent professionals. But I also read this, and this is what gives me hope for the United States. We spend 9 times more on innovation than any country of the world. And this is going to keep us in the lead. And it's even going to advance us further. I want to share this with you. In my recent Practicing Organization Development, one of the chapters is by Glory from Kenya. And she did research, and here's what she found. She said that CEOs, number one, want customer delight, more customers, happy customers, whatever. The second one I forgot, but the third one was they want help with change. And that's us, Tim. That's ProSci. And yes, as you say in your new trends, there's going to be more jobs in change, without question. And the people who are going to get hired are the CEOs who can facilitate change, can lead change and transformation, and the change agents who can master the helping of the organization are going to be in tremendous demand. And so here is what I want to say in concluding. I'm kind of the guru of competencies in the world of change. I haven't spent time on that anymore. I've turned it over to the Organization Development Network because I'm interested in whole system transformation competencies and focused very narrowly on how to teach that. I've got it figured out. But this is the new competency that's coming. It's going to come faster than a blink of an eye. And that is super intuitive consciousness. That's the brain development work. That's the meditation. That's the mindfulness that start becoming. Go and study David Rock on the neuro leadership science. That stuff is just mind-boggling. So, I end by closing and saying, I believe more change will happen. Not the rest of my life, because I'm on the end. But more change will happen the rest of your life, Tim, than the beginning of civilization, recorded civilization, about 4,500 years ago. So hang on to your hat. These are the most exciting times of history of civilization. Indeed, we're moving into the age of the Aquarius. Let the sun shine in.